Hello, I'm Ndimyake Mwakalyelye. Vincent Makori is off today. This is Africa 54. Well, the death of former South African leader Nelson Mandela has many South Africans already talking about next year's elections. At Mr. Mandela's memorial service just last week, current President Jacob Zuma was booed by the crowd, an act which some see as a political turning point. Now, as Henry Ridgwell reports, some voters are upset with the party that Mr. Mandela brought to power, the African National Congress.
A hostile reception for South African President Jacob Zuma as he took the stage last week at the Nelson Mandela Memorial. The timing may have been inappropriate, but critics of Jacob Zuma are growing in number, says Witwatersrand University Vice-Chancellor Adam Habib.
Here, what we have is a president being criticised in front of the world by his own electorate. And that's something that he should be very concerned about. The question is why. I think partly it's got to do with the fact that there is a real backlash against corruption.
President Zuma is facing criticism for the $20 million cost of renovating his private residence, improvements the government says were needed for security.
This is creating a real anger at the base of society. I mean, this coupled with the fact that we've had economic inequalities increase every single year for the last 19 years has created, if you like, an explosive moment.
In poor townships like Alexandra in Johannesburg, there is anger that they remain trapped in poverty.
If it's no jobs, no houses, crime start comes. But now, unfortunately, Mandela is gone now. But we'll see, because we're still going to vote for that ANC. ANC is the part which Mandela take us from where we were until up now.
The ANC, or African National Congress, is counting on that loyalty to win a big majority in elections scheduled for next year. But it is slowly losing support, says Habib.
I'm sure it will drop. I mean, the question is, was it going to drop sufficiently for them to lose the elections? And I don't think that's going to happen.
The death of Nelson Mandela should prompt self-reflection among the ANC, says the former president's lawyer and friend, George Bezos.
They say that they are aware and they will follow his footsteps. Either they have a bad memory or they are deliberately not doing it.
Western Cape is the one province the ANC does not govern. The Democratic Alliance won an outright majority in 2009. Polls show support for the alliance is highest among the Cape's wealthier white population.
They have really done wonders in Cape Town and developed this place to what it is, which makes it a place where everybody wants to come and live.
The throngs of tourists give Cape Town a wealthy feel, but local workers say there is real poverty.
Money, everything, is nothing changed. The people live in a poor place, maybe no toilets, no water. I think it's nothing changed.
In a 2005 speech, Nelson Mandela said that overcoming poverty is an act of justice. Like apartheid or slavery, it is not natural but man-made. Apartheid is finished, its victor now departed. But South Africa has yet to work out how to free the millions trapped in poverty. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, Johannesburg.
Now, for more insight on this, we turn now to Akwasi Osei, Professor and Chair of the Department of History, Political Science and Philosophy at Delaware State University, and he joins us via Skype. Thank you so much for joining us today, Professor Osei.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. What do you make of the ANC following Mr. Mandela's death, and also what you've heard in the report?
Yes, the report is absolutely on point. The ANC is in trouble. And clearly, after 20 years of the ANC, what they promised, they haven't been able to deliver. And that is at the root of this happiness with the ANC by the people. I believe the booing of State President Zuma was a watershed. It was finally people saying, we've had it, we want change, and we're going to let you know about it.
And the fact that they decided to make this demand for change be known at such a significant moment, what does it say going forward? Of course, the ANC is up for elections next year.
Exactly. I think if the ANC has any sense, and I believe that there's still time for them to have some sense, they would understand that this statement was made while the world was watching. And perhaps it was a cry from the population that after Mandela, we're not sure what would happen. They've had for 5 years or so a president who doesn't seem to have the imaginative capacity to make things happen. Mm-hmm. What they've witnessed is a situation where poverty is rising, unemployment is clearly out of the roof, housing issues, health issues, and continuing violence. And the question is, what happened to the ANC that we knew? Mm-hmm. And that's why the ANC has to repivot to put people's interests at the center of their plans.
And of course, poverty, Mr. Mandela described it as a man-made injustice. Why do you think the ANC has not been able to tackle this along with the other issues that you mentioned?
Unfortunately, I would like to think that the evidence shows that the leadership got a bit drunk with being in power. And so as soon as they tasted the power situation, most of them either decided to throw caution to the wind and do things that they would never do when they were heads of the ANC in the struggle. And here I'm talking about corruption. I'm talking about all kinds of steps and choices they have made, which underline everything that we knew about them. And at the root of this, at the head of this, is also the state president's decision to allow his people to spend all this money on a home when people don't have jobs, are sick, and are hungry.
20 million rands, from what I understand. Very briefly, do you see the ANC winning the next elections, or you see the Democratic Alliance? One answer.
I believe the ANC will win, but barely. And the only reason is because they still have the people's, they still are able to pull it out if they understand some of the things that has happened. And if you understand that, okay.
I have to end it there, but thank you so much. Akwasi Osei is a professor and chair of the Department of History, Political Science and Philosophy at Delaware State University, and he joined us via Skype.